A nicotine patch takes a mean of 4.5 hours to reach peak blood levels. An oral dissolving strip is formulated to dissolve and release its dose in about a minute. That gap isn't about manufacturing quality, it's about which tissue the dose has to cross. Skin's outermost layer, the stratum corneum, is a dense stack of flattened, keratin-filled dead cells embedded in a lipid matrix, a structure evolved specifically to block water loss and keep foreign compounds out. That's why marketed transdermal drugs cluster around a narrow window. Molecular weight under roughly 500 daltons. Log-P around 1 to 3. The oral mucosa doesn't have that same dense barrier. A 2021 review found buccal mucosa generally more permeable than skin, though generally less permeable than intestinal mucosa. Permeability varies further within the mouth too. A classic review found the sublingual site absorbs some small permeants faster than the buccal site does. Nicotine is a useful test case because it's been studied across nearly every delivery route. A single-dose pharmacokinetic study of a 14 mg nicotine patch found a mean Tmax time to peak plasma concentration of 4.4 hours. That's a slow diffusion limited rise through skin. Transdermal fentanyl shows the same pattern at higher stakes. After a fentanyl patch is first applied, serum concentrations climb gradually, reaching a maximum only 12 to 48 hours later, with true steady state not established until the third day of continuous use. One clarification matters here. Tmax is not the same as onset of action. A drug's pharmacological effect can begin well before plasma levels peak. Tmax is a standard measure of how quickly systemic exposure develops, not a direct stopwatch on when you feel something. Caffeine's own chemistry is part of the story. Its molecular weight, about 194 daltons, easily clears the transdermal size ceiling, but its log-P sits close to 0, far less lipophilic than nicotine, around 1.2, or fentanyl, around 4. That mismatch is one reason a caffeine patch was never the obvious engineering choice. Caffeine is already efficiently absorbed after ordinary swallowing. A classic 1983 study found peak plasma concentration around 30 minutes. So the design question was never absorption efficiency. It was starting the process sooner. The oral mucosa was the more permeable route available for that goal. No published study has tested a caffeine patch against a caffeine ODS directly. So this is a design rationale, not a benchmark result. And a transdermal patch's slow onset is also its advantage. Once steady state is reached, it can sustain plasma levels for days without another dose something. A strip that fully dissolves in a minute cannot replicate. Two different absorption problems, two different tools. Skin is built to keep most things out. The oral mucosa is generally more permeable. For a molecule like caffeine, that speed was the entire point, which is why energy focus is built around the mouth, not the skin.